Hi, everybody. It's Alex Jarett with Technology Executives Club and another Technology Executives Review special report. Now, this one is called the Enterprise IT Spend Crisis, Balancing Shadow AI Token Spend with Hard ROI, with hard RO, it's hard to say, with
Mhm.
hard ROI gains. And my special guest is Tom Drez. He's our guest analyst, co-host here today, former CIO, CPO, CISO uh, of Christian Brothers Services. Tom, how you doing?
Very good. Thanks for the invitation.
Great to have you here. Let's get right into it. So, what we're going to do is this is a special report. We've taken segments from the news that is especially about this issue. And you and I have already talked about this before. It's about the enterprise IT spend crisis for the last, I think, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. Every board member is coming to the technology leaders and saying, "What are we doing about AI? What are we doing about AI? What are we doing?" And people are started their projects. We heard about failures, and now we've got this looming issue that's going to be a crisis for some people, I guarantee you, which is token spend.
Mhm.
And I think people more and more I'm hearing from our leadership are saying, "Where's the ROI?" First of all, do you agree with this topic?
Yes, this is an important topic. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Any thoughts
absolutely.
on that? Any
This
thought,
is
real quick?
this, yeah. I mean, this is money now, right? So as a
Yeah,
as a CIO, we're all about business and technology and doing everything that we can to advance the company's goals within our within
yeah.
our our framework, right? So budgets are very important, and all it takes is one item in the IT budget every year that can throw everything out of whack. And I think what we're seeing and hearing about in 2026 so far is that token spend in organizations uh, has become the Wild West, and it is out of control to the point where companies maybe thought their employees would never use all those tokens, but
Mhm.
many of them are and going way beyond. So they're setting limits. One I think it might have even been Elon Musk. Now just came out a
Yeah,
couple of
I
weeks
heard
ago and
that.
said $200 per week. That's it. I mean,
That's
it's
it.
still that's pretty big. So I
That's
mean,
still a lot. I mean, that's
he's
the
got more
point.
money than most. So
Yeah, he
that's
does.
not that's a good spend. I don't know that all the rest of us could afford $200 per employee per week.
Well, that's a great extra headline. I remember seeing that. Didn't make our top one, but it's pretty interesting for
Right.
sure. All right, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wants to keep what he's got too. So
I would think so.
he's thinking about it. All right, let's read the headlines and we'll get into it. So,
Mhm.
number one, enterprise software disruption. The Starbucks precedent signals shift to custom AI infrastructure. That's interesting. The activity trap. This is what I've heard about from our group.
Mhm.
Only 6% of companies using AI report clear financial gains or returns. Global AI spend surges 47% to 2.59 trillion, and that's with low pricing as inflection year
Mhm.
hits enterprise IT budgets. That's from Gartner. The productivity mirage. I love that headline.
Mhm.
95% of AI initiatives fail to produce measurable results in first 6 months. Again, MIT, continuing to report. Which one do you want to cover?
Oh boy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. They're all in this particular topic, Alex.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to companies are trying to find the right way to
Hmm.
incent employees to use AI in a
Yeah.
responsible manner that will achieve results. You can compare this back to, I don't know, any other software tool any company has acquired
Yeah.
over the years. I don't care if it was the first time we deployed, you know, Excel spreadsheets or Lotus
Yeah. I remember
123.
that.
Employees were not productive and efficient moving from green ledger paper to online spreadsheets.
It took a little
How
time.
it did, right? So
Yeah.
while it did in the end make everybody more efficient, how long did it take us to get there and how many hours were spent? This is probably something very similar, but it seems probably seems overwhelming to any CIO and maybe even CEOs as well, because this AI just affects everybody, when we moved to Excel or Lotus 123, not every employee got a license for that. This is everybody. Everybody in the company has it. And depending on the security status of everybody, they may not have administrator rights, but they probably go to many AI websites, and that creates the whole problem of shadow AI in IT again. It's probably in here somewhere, but everything is so complicated, so complex, has so many moving pieces. I think the companies can be overwhelmed with that, and they just need to pick a spot to start small, get small wins with education, and just keep building and building and building until you're out of this and you develop for your organization what some best practices are around AI at those various levels that we've talked about in several conversations.
I think that's such good. I'm gonna pick a headline for us then. But
Yeah,
I think that's such a good intro.
These topics indicate the overwhelming.
It's one topic. It's just so overwhelming. And I think that it means that the technology leader, folks, you know what to do if you've been around the block. You've got to stand your ground, talk about issues like governance, talk about issues of ROI, and you have to they're looking for you to lead. And that would be my advice listening to you and our group. You really have to stand your ground and lead. This is just like you said, this is a technology shift, and it is about people first. And it is about ROI at the end of the day if you're going to fund stuff. So let me pick a headline. And in fact, let me do this. Let me tell you where this topic came from our end. Is we had one of our virtual peer advisory group meetings, and this topic actually came up in the meeting. I can't share exactly who talked about it, what we talked about, because those are private. But the issue that came up was a lot of the productivity gains are the early adopters getting more done, but that doesn't necessarily mean that shows up on the bottom line. And that was a big part of it. So the rest of the company isn't necessarily seeing a return, but they're saying, yeah, I am getting more done. I'm doing better work. It's deeper. That's not an ROI, but it will be eventually. You will translate to ROI, assuming those people make good decisions and do good work. So that's where this discussion, then we started doing the research, and Tom and I talk. All right, I want to talk about the activity trap because that's kind of what came up in our meeting. The activity trap, only 6% of companies using AI report clear financial returns. What this means, IT leaders are walking into boardrooms filled with vanity metrics, pilots launched, tools deployed, user adopting, climbing. Yet, it's always a yet, isn't there? Research reveals that while 88% of companies are using AI, a measly 6% see hard financial value, causing severe executive friction. By the way, Google AI helps me write these things. Pretty cool that Google AI comes up with that phrase, measly. Yeah, it wants more. It's like see more. Google AI is really saying, this is measly what you're giving me. I need more.
It's read the entire dictionary. It can toss out any word it wants.
Yeah, it loves it. So, anyways, all kidding around, 6%. That's a pretty big metric, right? So this is right on top of it, right?
And again, we're talking about this because the spend, this is an actual line item of spend for every company. It's not just probably lumped into their, annual software budget. So this is huge. Everybody's jumped in so full and fast head first.
Yeah.
That, some companies might need to pull back a little bit, right? And they're gonna, because they're looking at their budget, but 6%. So, and when we look at this, so the question would be, of those six, how do those 6% of the companies know that they're getting good financial returns? I've been thinking about that because it's like, hey, when I was using or learning Excel, how did I know I was reached the point where I was productive? So the way I've been thinking about this would be, all right, what happens if this I don't know, activities were pulled away, the rug was pulled out, would they become less efficient if it wasn't there? I don't know. That's part of everybody's struggle, from what I could see and what I hear so far, is how do you do this? There are no tools, really.
It's a new metric. One way you can do it is you can measure people who are using it against people that aren't. You know,
Yeah, that's
that's
tough too, right? In
productivity
your
gains.
control group and
Yeah,
that's
I
tough.
know.
Then you're pitting teams against each other. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a tough one, Alex.
Well, I think and we'll highlight, and he's on the call now. I think there's two topics here. There's projects and there's individual productivity. And then there's
Hmm.
also when we talk about things like
Right.
agentic AI, there's process. So
Yes.
there's really three themes. There's individual productivity,
Yep.
there's uh, um, projects, and then
Hmm.
there's process. And projects and process might be the same thing where you automate a process. So, those are all three different layers. And when we talk about AI as an Excel type of thing, we're talking about individual productivity. And
Hmm.
when we talk about a project, you're talking about there's a
Right.
shot if you pick the right project, you can start to demonstrate ROI. You talk about a process, then that's digital transformation. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
so you know, so the same metrics apply to any digital transformation project, whether you use AI or something else.
Hmm.
It's got to
True.
have real
Yes, I
targets and
agree.
goals. Yeah, we did an interview
Right.
with Elaine Hepler. Do you remember Elaine? Do you know Elaine?
I don't.
Anyway, she's good. She's a digital transformation expert. And she's talked about how critical it is before you start any project to understand what your tangible goals are and why you're really doing this. So I think, this is digital transformation. So you hear all these things about agentic and everything else. You've got to stick to your guns and make sure those projects are there. Otherwise, those guardrails are there in the common sense project management that we all know and love, and it may be a pain in the butt to have these regular meetings and all that, but right? You're the master of that. You got to do it, right?
Well, this is clearly an area where, as CIOs, we look at business and technology, right? We all
Yeah.
know that there's no technology projects for technology's sake. But to even saying that, and if companies are in alignment on their strategic goals between the business side of the house and the technology side of the house, it doesn't mean that a company still doesn't have silos. But this is
Yeah.
one of those areas where the business side and the technology side of the companies have to come together, and you still see it in some companies. The CIO now has also become the AI leader.
Yeah.
Um, but does the AI leader really get to go all throughout the company and traverse over all those silos? Some places yes, maybe some places no. Some places the AI starts at the very top at the CIO, and they don't really know where that's going to go through the company. They just know that they want something to happen with AI. They want to show the board of directors something, but they don't know what. So if there ever was an area where business and technology sides of the house have to come together
This is
and
it.
figure this out, this is it.
Well, I think you're running the money, and I think we can take this as a very positive beat. This is an opportunity. If you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
technology leader and you're watching this right now or listening to this, you should be, if you haven't started your internal AI console, your internal committee or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you call it, where you have all the different key business leaders involved or their representatives involved, now is the time to do it. And you can lead
Yeah.
that. We have many of our members that have become from CIO or CTO to COO. This is an opportunity for you to really make a real impact on your organization beyond just managing the IT infrastructure and things like that.
All
Don't you
problems
agree?
are opportunities in disguise. The
Yeah.
CIO just needs to find them.
Yeah, this is a big one. Now's the time. Somebody
Yes.
in your organization is
Oh,
going to do it.
absolutely.
Somebody in your organization is going to do it whether you do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's get back to the last four headlines here. Investors demanding rapid accountability. 53% expect positive AI ROI within 6 months. That might be just worth reading because that
Mm-hmm.
tells you what investors, and they're the ones pressing the board. So everybody here watching this should know what's going on behind the scenes. Job security on the line. Half of global CEOs face ouster if AI spending fails to deliver. Wow. What is
Mm.
that? That's gonna tell you right now. The pressure's on, guy, everybody.
Yeah.
Modernizing the foundation, legacy technology and data debt playing for stalled enterprise value. That makes sense. You got
Yeah.
this old ERP system that has all the all these procedures on it, which half the people watching it, and the other half are on the PCs. You got a job ahead of you.
Mhm.
So the self-funding AI playbook, I like that one. CIO shift to
I
reinvesting incremental productivity savings. That's interesting.
uh,
Which one you want to hit?
well, 13 and 14 kind of go together.
Yeah.
That actually seems high to me in terms of the amount of accountability.
Yeah,
That
53%. Yeah, seems
yeah,
high.
I don't. There should be accountability, and it probably just relates to, in my mind, the amount of dollars that companies are spending on AI unchecked.
That's got to
Right.
be it.
So
Just start checking.
if the CEO and the CIO, the business and technology sides of the house come together and have a plan, yeah, I think this. I did. I don't know if how these articles have been qualified to the point like that, but this might be for investments that have been made that are going unchecked right now. The spigot is on full. There's going to be accountability, and heads apparently will roll.
Yeah.
But again, I think that illustrates the big picture here. Business and technology sides of the house have to come together.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. I mean, we don't know if that 53, it's an interesting
No,
headline from that was from TNO Vision, CEO and Investor
no.
Outlook Survey, an organization that puts out these reports and they have investors. But the other
I'll add
one,
one. Let me add that 16, the self-funding AI playbook. That
yeah,
reminds me of, like I mentioned, every company probably does still have some silos. The
yep,
nice thing about being CIO, in an information and technology services division, you really have a license to go throughout the entire company
yeah,
and make your own cross divisional teams as well. I've done that on several instances when you managers, CIOs, you can't always count on the fact that when you're talking to a managing director of a business unit, that what you tell them is going to be funneled down to
yeah,
the levels within their business unit. So I would always make cross-functional teams and pull somebody from every business unit. So one, it would give me a direct mouthpiece into each business unit, and then hopefully then they would talk to other people in their business unit. But we would be I would, as a CIO, I can control the content that I feed to that group and start building upon it. And some type of cross-divisional AI team seems ripe. Whether
that
they
seems like a great idea. Like a
one from
SWAT team, an AI SWAT team.
it's certainly one for the personal productivity for employees. That's fair too. But
Yeah,
also one from the supervisors and managers who are looking at business processes. That sounds like a whole nother group. And then there'd be a third, just like we said, there's these three channels of AI for
yeah,
those that are buying software and building software.
yep,
Those all seem like great cross divisional teams to me, and it gets the CIO into every business unit, whether a company realizes it or not, because I think companies might be
great
struggling
idea.
with where do
Remember
we
the labs?
name.
Remember the
Yeah,
internet labs? Don't mean to
yeah,
interrupt you, but remember the
yeah,
internet labs?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like you have an opportunity now to create your AI lab.
yeah.
And like you said, you can get the funding. When you get gains, you can get some of
Right.
that back for your own budget.
Try to put all the noise or tunnel through the noise, right? While the
Yeah.
company still may be making noise, you can
Beautiful. I love that.
chart your own course and take it.
I love that. That is great advice. Great
Huh?
way to end this segment. And I mean, great advice. I'm going to echo what Tom is saying. Yes, there's a lot of press here about the stress of looking for returns and things like that. It's all real, but it's also a huge opportunity for technology leaders. But you've got to take the attitude that Tom just
Mhm.
gave you is the noise is out there, the winds are out there. Set sail, set your target, set sail, and look for returns within the savings that you get and go
Yeah.
out and make something happen. Okay, I think that's it for that segment, and then we're going to go back to.
Hmm.
I think that's it for that segment. Okay, that's it for our special report. This has been a special report with myself, Alex Jarett, and Tom Drez, who's former CIO and CISO and CPO at Christian Brothers Services. Tom, thanks for being here today. We appreciate you.
Glad to be here. Thank
And
you.
the topic has been the enterprise IT spend crisis, battling the enterprise IT spend crisis, balancing shadow AI token spend with hard ROI gains.